J. Krishnamurti, at the outset of his life's work some 40 years ago, said that his only concern was to set men absolutely, unconditionally free. In his talks, Krishnamurti is asking for a particular kind of participation on the part of the audience. He is not giving a predetermined lecture to which the audience listens with agreement or disagreement. He is not presenting a point of view. He is not doing propaganda for an idea, belief, or dogma, or leading the audience to a particular conclusion. Instead, the speaker and listeners together are exploring human problems. Krishnamurti began to speak along his present lines in 1929, when he repudiated all connections with organized religions and ideologies. Since that time, Krishnamurti has continued to travel the world, speaking, discussing, and writing. He is the author of many books, among them The Awakening of Intelligence, The Urgency of Change, Freedom from the Known, and The Flight of the Eagle. This is the second in a series of 4 talks given at San Diego State University.
One has to be serious. It's only those who are really vitally serious can live properly, can live a life that's complete and whole. And that seriousness doesn't exclude joy, enjoyment. But as long as there is fear, one cannot possibly be serious or enjoy or know what it means to have great joy. And fear seems to be one of the most common things in life. And strangely, we have accepted it as a way of life, as we have accepted violence in all its various forms as a way of life. We have also accepted and have got used to being psychologically as well as physically afraid. And this evening, if we can, we should go into this question. We should, I feel, go into it so completely that we understand it so fully that when we leave the hall or this place, we shall be rid of this fear. I think it can be done. It isn't just a theory or a hope. But if one gives, as we shall presently, complete attention to this question of fear, I'm quite sure that in exploring the causes of fear and also how to approach it, how to look at it, how to completely end it, so that our mind, the human mind that has suffered so much, that has endured so much pain, that has lived with great sorrow and fear, such a mind can completely be free of this thing called fear. And to understand it, we must communicate with each other quite easily. Communication implies, the very word means creating together, understanding together, working together. Not that you merely listen to the speaker, hear a few words or ideas, but with the speaker, take a journey together. And understand this very complex problem of fear. And to communicate, to take this journey together implies neither acceptance nor denial. Not saying to oneself it's absolutely impossible to be rid of fear, or rationalize fear, or accept it. You need a free mind to inquire into this question. A mind that has no conclusion, that doesn't say it is possible or it's not possible. Because we are inquiring, exploring together. So you must be free to observe, to inquire. And that's absolutely essential. So that one has no prejudice to find out, prejudice which will prevent from the understanding of the truth of what is. You see, there are so many forms of fear, both physical as well as psychological, psychosomatic fears. And to go into each one of these various forms of fear requires enormous time, demands a great many days to go into every aspect of every fear. But I think one can observe the quality of fear, the general fear, not a particular fear. Observe the nature of fear, the structure of fear. Not get lost in a detail or in a particular form of one's own fear. Because when we understand the nature and the structure of fear, then we can apply that understanding or come with that understanding or approach with that understanding of a particular fear. One may be afraid of the dark physically, or one may be afraid of one's wife or husband, or what the public says or thinks or does. Or one may be afraid of this sense of loneliness. or the emptiness of life, the boredom of a meaningless existence that one leads. Or one may be afraid of the future, the tomorrow, the uncertainty, the insecurity, the bomb. Or one may be afraid of death. The ending of one's life. So there are various forms of fear. Neurotic as well as sane, rational fears. If fear can ever be rational or sane. But most of us, apparently, are neurotically afraid of both the past, of today, and of tomorrow. The things that one has done in the past, or the ill health that one has had in the past with all its pain and agony, and not wanting it repeated. And is one afraid of that tomorrow? One is afraid of time. Growing old, getting senile, depending on another. So there is fear of time, fear of the past and of the future. And this fear of loneliness, of death, of public opinion, of not conforming, not being able to succeed, not being able to fulfill, not being somebody in this stupid world, and so on. And there are so many fears. Not only conscious fears, fears that one is aware of, but also there are fears deep down, undiscovered, unexplored, in the deep recesses of one's own mind. So the question is not only how to deal with the conscious fears as well as those that are hidden, the fear of time, that is yesterday, of the things that one has done, the repetition of that misery of tomorrow, the uncertainty, the insecurity, both psychological as well as physical. And there are the fears of great loneliness. And the escape from that loneliness. Surely, fear is a movement away from what is. The flight, the escape, the avoidance of actually what is. The movement, the flight away brings about fear. That is, when there is comparison of any kind, it breeds fear. Comparing oneself with another whom you think is greater, wiser, nobler, etc., etc. And the comparison of what you are with what you should be. So, fear is a movement away from the actual, the what is. The movement, not the object to which you escape. And fear comes about through comparison. And there is the fear deeply hidden in oneself of which one is not aware. So there are these problems, and all very complex. And none of these problems of fear can be resolved through will. Saying to oneself, I will not be afraid. And the act of will has no meaning. I hope you're following all this. It isn't a game I'm playing with you, nor you playing a game with me. We are considering a very serious problem. Therefore, you have to give your attention to it. And you cannot give attention if you are interpreting or translating or comparing with what is being said with what you already know. You have to listen. And the art of listening one has to learn. Because one doesn't listen at all. One is always comparing, evaluating, judging, denying. Therefore, you prevent yourself from actually listening. To listen so completely to another implies that you give your whole attention, which doesn't mean you agree or disagree, because there is no agreement or disagreement when we are exploring together. Only the microscope through which you look may be dull, may not be clear. So if you have a precision instrument, then what you see is what another will also see. Therefore, there is no question of agreement or disagreement or denial. So, we are trying to examine this whole question of fear. So you'll have to give your attention because it's your life. Because fear deadens the mind, makes the mind insensitive, dull. How can a mind that's afraid love? A mind that depends, what can it know of joy except fear? So, there are conscious as well as hidden fears. How do you, first, inquiry, how do you expose those hidden fears? And when you do expose them, how will you be free of them? How can the mind be free of them? That's the first question. Please do follow this. You yourself are doing it. You yourself are observing it. The speaker is only pointing out. How does it happen that the hidden fears are opened, exposed? One can know the conscious fears and how to deal with them will come presently. But there are the hidden fears, perhaps much more important. So how will you deal with them? How will you expose them? Would you permit me to take my coat off? You don't mind? So we are considering how the deep layers of fears hidden can be exposed. Can they be exposed through analysis? Analyzing them, seeing their causes. Will analysis free the mind from fear? Not a particular neurotic fear, but the whole fear, the whole structure of fear. Analysis. In analysis is implied not only time, taking many, many, many days, years, whole of one's life. At the end of it, perhaps you may understand little, but you're ready for the grave. And also, in analysis implies the analyzer. Who is the analyzer? Is he the professional, the expert, who has a degree, going to analyze your deep hidden fears? And he will also take time. And therefore, also your money. So, analysis implies the analyzer, who is the censor, who is the result of many forms of conditioning, and he is going to analyze the fear which he himself has created. Right? I hope you're following all this. Because our intention is that when you do leave this rather warm hall, that you are no longer have any form of fear. It can be done. And you will know quite a different kind of life. You will know what tremendous joy is. A mind that's completely free of this terrible thing called fear. And to be free of that, you have to, we together are going to work together. You're going to work as hard as the speaker is working.